morning, everyone. Please rise in body and spirit for us to sing our opening hymn, 361, and to rejoice and come in.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. Welcome into this loving community of seekers where we strive to live with integrity, nurture wonder, and inspire the actions that transform us and transform the world. Welcome to those who are seeking comfort. Welcome to those of you seeking hope. Welcome to those of you seeking resilience. Welcome to you, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, and whoever you are becoming in this moment. You are welcome here in this community, whether you're here with us in our physical sanctuary or joining us in our online sanctuary. We are one community on this one earth under one sky. It is good to be together. My name is Deb Karoff, and I am the worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her. I am delighted to be here with all of you today. This morning, I am creating worship with music director Matthew Grissett and pianist Heather Levin, Charlotte Bagrante, director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, and Charles Hamilton, who's one of the co-chairs of the Capital Campaign team, who will offer a reflection this morning. Our original guest speaker, Reverend Kristen Rome, sends her deep apologies as she is recovering from emergency retina surgery. She's fine, she's recovering well, but she needs to be lying face down, so this would not work today, obviously. But we're extremely grateful that the Reverend Nica Eaton was willing to step in at the very last minute. Thank you so much, Nica. Some of you know Reverend Nica. Presently, Reverend Nica has served Chalice UU Fellowship in the Conejo Valley for 9 years. Before that, she was a consulting minister at Studio City UU and intern minister at the Santa Monica UU. Her previous careers included being a professional actor and singer, a manager of classical musicians, a creative arts therapist, and life coach. Reverend Nica discovered Unitarian Universalism here at USSB 16 years ago, and she was ordained by our congregation on August of 2015. She is thrilled to be returning to her home congregation 10 years later. We're so glad to see you again. If you're visiting with us, we would love to get to know you better, answer any questions you might have about this congregation, and let us know what we're up to. We always have a lot going on around here. Please stop by our visitor table or click the visitor button online if you're on the online system, And if you've been coming for a while and you feel like this might be your home, your community, we would love to welcome you into membership on any Sunday. Please stop by the membership table in the garden and talk to Angie to learn more about who we are. We have two announcements this morning, and the first is from Craig Woodman. If you'd want to come up, that would be great. You have to be brief. No.
Well, I told her it'd be brief, so I better make it. And since I haven't practiced it, it will be. So, how many of you, like me, like my coffee in the morning out after the service? How many of you, smaller numbers, I'm sure, like your tea? Well, you're really outnumbered. Anyway, collectively, we end up sending thousands of non-disposable coffee cups, even though they're supposed to be disposable, to the landfill every year. And Marburg assures me all these coffee cups have a little bit of plastic, so they're not disposable, and they're in an anaerobic environment. They don't really compost. So I'm going to encourage everybody to bring your own mug. It's easy. Before the service, there you go. Before the service, I just set mine, yay. I just set mine on the stage, get it, drink coffee, take it home. Now that lets you feel virtuous on a Sunday, and your coffee is free, and that's one good thing.
Thank you, Craig. A good reminder for all of us. The second announcement is that a new round of connection circles begins in September. Connection circles are small groups that allow us to get to know one another on a deeper level by sharing what is important to us. When we know one another's stories, we build appreciation and trust for one another. Through these circles of trust, we strengthen our community. Whether you have been in a connection circle many times or are new to them, you are welcome to join a circle during the month of August. There are 5 groups to choose from, including one group that meets on Zoom and one group after the Sunday service that has childcare. New circles begin in September, and you can learn more or sign up online with the link in the order of service or at the Connection Circles table in the garden after the service. And now, settle in. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to land fully in your body and in this moment as we ring our bell and let the sound connect us. Thank you. Our chalice lighting this morning is a piece that's called Deep Calls Unto Deep, Joy Calls Unto Joy, and it's by a man named Gordon McKeeman. He writes, deep calls unto deep, joy calls unto joy, light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. Thank you, Nica. Each week, as so many of you know, we hold up one good thing as a way to lift our spirits in these challenging times. Looking to the creative arts always provides good things for me. I want to tell you about a film that's coming to the Marjorie Luke Theater in about 10 days. The film is called She's the He, and it was made by Siobhan McCarthy, who is from Santa Barbara. The story is about 2 high school seniors, Alex and Ethan, who pretend to be trans women to sneak into the girls' locker room. It's all a joke until Ethan realizes she really is trans. Now Alex and Ethan must navigate their shifting friendship and the complexities of coming out. This coming out and coming of age story subverts the traditional tropes to deliver a tale of trans joy. It's being shown at the Marjorie Luke Theater on Tuesday, August 19th from 6 to 8. It's free, along with a suggested donation. And I hope you're able to see the film. This is a time when it would be a good thing to celebrate some trans joy. So we have a moment to greet each other. Please say hello to the person sitting near you and welcome them and welcome yourself. And I will call you back, so don't do this for too long. You ready? Okay, folks. Time to settle back down. Time to settle back down and let Matthew sing. I see some wonderful connections still happening. Sit. Okay, thank you.
Let us rise in body and spirit to sing hymn 116, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way.
feedback, but I'm on. I'm Charla Bergante. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration here. My pronouns are she, her, and it is time for a story. I see a couple kids back there who might want to come up, but I think a lot of kids are sleeping in this last Sunday before school starts. So I'm going to go ahead and start. If anyone wants to come forward, you are welcome. Here we go. See, the kids just keep getting taller. That's all it is. And older, apparently, yes. But they're still cute, aren't they? They're still so cute. Yeah. All right, this story is called The Fiddler and the Village, and it was written by April Rosario. Long ago, in a small village, life was hard, and laughter was scarce. The villagers worked tirelessly in the fields and barely had time to smile, let alone celebrate. One day, a wandering fiddler arrived in the village. He wore a tattered coat, but his face was bright with joy. Slung over his back was an old, well-worn fiddle. As he stepped into the town square, he paused, tuned his instrument, and began to play. This is where I wish we had a fiddler strolling through right now. You'll have to create that fiddler in your imagination. The melody was unlike anything the villagers had ever heard. It was lively, full of warmth and laughter, and seemed to wrap around each listener like a hug. At first, the villagers stopped to watch, their brows furrowed in confusion, but soon their feet began tapping, their hands clapping, and before long they were dancing together in the square. The fiddler played through the night, and the villagers, who hadn't smiled in years, found themselves laughing and singing. For those few hours, they forgot their worries, their struggles, and their sadness. When dawn broke, they begged the fiddler to stay. The fiddler smiled and said, "I'm sorry, friends, I cannot stay, but I leave behind something greater than my music. The reminder that joy lives in your hearts. You don't need me to find it. Sing, dance, and make music together, and you will always be able to find your way back to joy within, to the joy within. Never forget, my friends, music is a path back to joy, the joy that lies within." From that day forward, the village was transformed. The people worked as hard as ever, but now their days were filled with song, their nights were filled with dancing, and most importantly, their hearts were filled with joy. Sometimes we lose our joy, but it's not gone. We may have just misplaced it. So how do we find joy again? Maybe it's through music or a story. Maybe it's through the people around us. Whatever it is, it's like a light on a path that leads us back to the joy within. And that's our time for all ages this morning. Thank you, children. You were very well behaved.
As you go, may your heart be at peace as you go, to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
Please join me now in the spirit of prayer, reflection, or meditation. I invite you to still yourselves, perhaps place both of your feet on the ground, and if you feel comfortable, I invite you to lower your gaze or close your eyes. I will begin with a prayer and then invite you into a time of silence. Spirit of life, ground of being, breath that moves through all creation, we come to this still place, holding the weight of our own struggles and the grief of a hurting world. In this moment, let the noise of fear and despair soften into the quiet pulse of our own hearts. Let us breathe in the memory of laughter shared, songs sung in harmony, feet that have danced even in the shadow of sorrow. We remember those who in times of great hardship chose joy, not as an escape, but as a declaration. You cannot take my spirit. Great Source, help us cultivate such joy, the kind born of connection, of beauty, of deep love for life itself. And in our breathing now, may seeds of joy take root, that they may rise up in us as courage, as hope, and as resistance. May it be so. Amen.
Please stay seated as we sing our reflective hymn, Surprised by Joy, number 410. Surprised by joy, no song can tell, no thought can compass. Here we stand to celebrate love, eternal love, to reach for one another's hand. Beyond all other gifts, this is best gift alone to mortals give, the love of parent, lover, friend, attunes our hearts to bliss of heaven. Faith, hope, and love here come alive. Life's deepest treasure is made known when in forgiving, giving all, inseparably two are as one.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. My name is Charles Hamilton, unrelated to our beloved minister, Reverend Julia Hamilton. As a co-chair of our capital campaign, now underway, I am honored today to stand before you and present my capital campaign testimonial. Ordo Amoris. Please raise your hand if you know what the Latin phrase Ordo Amoris means. Ordo amoris is a concept in Catholic theology concerned with the proper ordering of Christian love. In February of this year, Cardinal Robert Prevost, who would become Pope Leo XIV, criticized our Vice President, J.D. Vance's interpretation of Ordo amoris, arguing that Jesus' teachings on love are universal to all people and not hierarchical. In a letter to the bishops of the United States, Pope Leo said that the true Ordo amoris that must be promoted is that which we discover by meditating constantly on the parable of the Good Samaritan. That is, by meditating on the love that builds a fraternity open to all without exception. Do Pope Leo's comments remind you of some of our ministers' sermons about love? They do me. Now on to the purpose of our capital campaign. I believe that in these very difficult times, as we grapple with socio-political turbulence and the vicissitudes of climate change, we need to significantly improve and modernize all our physical church facilities to proactively face the future. To do this, we need modern heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, utilizing environmentally resilient heat pumps, solar panels, and heat panels for all of our meeting rooms, including our sanctuary. If we replace our pews with comfortable chairs, we can move them around for a variety of seating arrangements for meetings for ourselves and others, and especially enable us to use the sanctuary as a designated shelter-in-place facility. We could then shelter many people as well as ourselves in the event of a natural catastrophe, such as a major heat wave or smoke-filled air from a fire or major flooding or an earthquake. We already need more bathroom facilities and much improved meeting room space on our campus with better audio-visual capabilities. And we especially need to make the physical changes necessary for those of us and others who use our facilities and need unimpeded entrances into and throughout our facilities. However, how many of these projects and to what extent we are able to fund them all still remains to be seen. Our board has authorized and our congregation approved a goal of raising $2.6 million, but will it be enough? To address our questions in 2 weeks following the service on August 24 at 11 a.m., I hope you will join me at the Jefferson Hall Open House to meet with members of our building team and architect. They will show renderings of our future Jefferson Hall and be available for any and all questions you may have, whether about Jefferson Hall or the other proposed projects. To be clear, I feel very strongly that now and into the future, we need to be much more fully prepared to express our Unitarian values and universal love with welcoming facilities to support ourselves and our community partners who share our space. As I see it, we need to not just merely survive as a congregation. In these challenging times, we need to thrive. I'm energized and feel self-actualized by my participation in our capital campaign. I want to meet this moment, and I want all of us to meet this moment together. So in our Unitarian commitment to universal love, as well as in the spirit of Pope Leo's interpretation of Ordo Amoris, please join me in doing whatever you can to help make our capital campaign successful as we build our bridge to the future. Thank you.
You always have to be patient with me while I get my height higher, make myself higher. Thank you, Charles. That was a really, really great reflection and a wonderful way to remind all of us about where we're going and why it matters so much to us. Every week, we give 25% of the offertory to a local organization. This month, we are supporting 3 organizations that support the LGBTQ plus population: Pacific Pride, PFLAG, and SB TAN. The LGBTQ plus community is one of the populations being cruelly targeted by the current administration. Each of these nonprofits is providing critical support and care to local members of the LGBTQ plus community in Santa Barbara. I hope you can give as generously as you are able. Please join me in saying the affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
As your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Herald what your mother said, reading books your father read, trying to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Many will have more crash than you, others take a different view. My, oh my, hey, hey, hey. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Don't ask no questions, it goes on without you. Leave you behind if you can stand the pace. World keeps on spinning, can't stop if you try to. This time it's danger staring you in the face. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my, hey, hey, hey. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. All I know, love will save the day.
Love will save the day indeed. Thank you, Matthew. That was just gorgeous. Really wonderful. Oh my goodness, I'm so thrilled to be back here at USSB with all of you, where I was ordained on August 30th, 2015. So almost exactly 10 years ago. And this is my beloved home congregation where I found my call to ministry. And it's so good to be back with you all and to see so many new faces as well. Who knew that my weekend off from my congregation would turn into an opportunity to come and visit you all? But my friends, haven't times changed since 2015? Those almost feel like the days of innocence. Before I started my ministry at Chalice UU Fellowship, just 3 months before our current president was first elected, and climate change effects have grown so much stronger since then. In fact, these days it can sometimes feel like we're in the middle of a bad dream, can't it? When the news each day has us reeling, afraid of the consequences and harm caused to millions of people by decrees, by wars and violence, while watching our beautiful planet and country being dismantled. And unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to wake up from this bad dream, at least not right now, not quite yet. And many of us have been feeling overwhelmed and depressed from the latest barrage of cruelty, and some of us have been feeling helpless and powerless. But my friends, crawling into a hole, getting depressed and letting the bad news overwhelm us would be like submitting to the playbook of how oppressors want us to feel. There's still so much good that exists in the world, shown by the good that you shared and the beautiful music that we've shared and our gorgeous nature surrounding us here in Santa Barbara. And we mustn't forget that the good, that the joy, the beauty that continues to exist all around us and within us too. So I want to take a moment today to remember the many civilizations, communities, and people who have resisted difficult regimes with joy. People who have found resilience and strength through the practice of joy. With joy, you might ask? Yes, with joy. Because that is a feeling that we can generate, an experience that we can create almost no matter what is happening. And this isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring suffering. It's about acknowledging our full humanity, which includes our capacity for delight, wonder, creativity, and joy, even amid the struggle. In fact, joy is often the exact antidote we need to all the suffering and bad news. Joy helps us counterbalance the difficult stuff so that we're not overwhelmed by the daily struggle. Recently, I saw a play about the composer Rachmaninoff. Don't know if any of you saw it here too, yes. And he had a tragic life, losing both his sisters and then his parents as a child. Yet it was composing and playing music, such glorious music, that saved him. It helped him find joy and purpose in the midst of very difficult times, which reminded me that the arts are one of the primary ways that we can experience and express joy and our emotions during difficult times. Anyone here familiar with the Brazilian carnival that happens every Lent throughout Brazil? Oh yes, I see some knowing faces. Maybe some of you have been. I always thought there was just a joyful, colorful celebration, like a giant street party. But it turns out that its origins actually lie in resistance to dictatorship and oppressors. Carnival in Brazil has its roots in the colonial era, when the Portuguese brought Catholic traditions to the region in the 17th century. But as more enslaved Africans were brought to Brazil, they brought with them the rich traditions of drumming, dance, and music. And over time, their traditions melded with the Portuguese, indigenous, and other European influences to form the unique carnival culture. Brazil's carnival today is more than just a festival. It's a powerful symbol of how joy, culture, and community can act together as forms of resistance. And it allows the people of Brazil to affirm their humanity, to celebrate their diversity, and to use joy as a powerful tool for defiance and social change. It's a symbol of collective resistance, of joy and resilience, which was used very intentionally during Brazil's military dictatorship from 1964 to 1985. And during that time, the government sought to control public expression, suppress dissent, and curb the spread of political oppression and opposition. Anyone recognize that? So Carnival, together with many samba schools, which is a unique Brazilian dance form, incorporated political themes into their parades, often using metaphor, allegory, and satire to comment on the political and social issues of the day. Songs that held double meanings, celebrating Brazilian culture while also subtly criticizing the government, became a form of nonviolent protest. Extravagant joy in the midst of oppression became a powerful form of resistance. And this, of course, is similar to what happened during our civil rights era in this country in the 1960s. In 1961, Bernice Johnson Reagan was a student at Albany State College in Georgia when she joined her first civil rights demonstration. Police arrested her and dozens of other young protesters, loading them into police cars and later jail cells. In a 1994 interview, Reagan described what happened as she was carted off to jail. "I opened my mouth and I began to sing, 'Over my head I see freedom in the air.' And everybody in the police van joined in the singing, and the song was transformed from a message of solace and hope into a freedom song." And she later founded the Freedom Singers, and then in the 1970s, the fabulous a cappella group Sweet Honey in the Rock. She realized the power of collective singing to unify people, to strengthen their courage and elevate their spirits. Any of you ever experienced that here? During the most dangerous moments of the civil rights movement, singing became a tactical weapon. Songs like "We Shall Overcome," or "This Little Light of Mine," or "Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around," and "I'm on My Way to the Freedom Land," which we sang earlier. They became songs that expressed determination, solidarity, and yes, joy, even in the face of oppression. When protesters confronted violence from police or white mobs, they would join hands and sing. And the singing steadied their nerves, affirmed their solidarity, and often confused and disarmed their opponents. Fannie Lou Hamer, the sharecropper turned courageous civil rights leader, would lead "This Little Light of Mine" even after being brutally beaten in a Mississippi jail. She said, "I guess if I'd had any sense, I'd have been scared." But what was the point of being scared? The only thing they could do was kill me, and it seemed like they'd been trying to do that a little bit at a time ever since I could remember. The joy in these songs, my friends, wasn't naive happiness. It was defiant joy, a declaration that oppression couldn't crush their spirit or their vision of a better future. It was resistance embodied in melody and harmony. And another joyful form of resistance was modeled by Tibetan Buddhists during the Chinese occupation. And when the Chinese invaded Tibet in 1950, over 6,000 monasteries were destroyed, and thousands of monks and nuns were killed or imprisoned, and religious texts were burned. The Dalai Lama himself fled into exile in 1959 following a failed uprising. And despite this, practitioners continued their meditation practices focused on compassion and even joy. And the Dalai Lama's ongoing emphasis on humor and laughter represents resistance against the bitterness that oppression might otherwise cause. Now, some of you may have read his recent book with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, The Book of Joy, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It demonstrates his determination to express joy no matter what. And despite witnessing the destruction of his homeland and living in exile for over 6 decades, he maintains a practice of joyfulness that confounds Western observers. When asked how he preserves his characteristic laughter and good humor, he explains, "I've lost my country and live as a refugee. I'm a human being with emotions and feelings. I experience sadness, anxiety, and pain like anyone else. But worry and anxiety help nothing. So I try instead to transform that energy into hope, joy, and determination." And in public appearances, he often breaks into spontaneous laughter, holds hands with those he meets, and generally exudes warmth, not as a performance, but as an embodied practice. And when meeting with world leaders, his genuine delight in human connection often disrupts diplomatic formality. Now again, this practice isn't naive positivity. It's very intentional. The Dalai Lama speaks frankly about suffering and injustice while refusing to let suffering define Tibetan identity. And this simultaneous recognition of suffering and cultivation of joy represents spiritual resilience against the forces that would prefer Tibetans internalize despair. And as monasteries were demolished, Tibetans created hidden networks to maintain their practices. Families would take turns hosting secret gatherings where meditation practices continued. And one remarkable practice that many of you might be familiar with is the Tonglen meditation, which paradoxically focuses on taking in others' suffering and then transmuting it within and sending out joy and compassion. Even while experiencing oppression, practitioners cultivated joy to share with all beings, including, remarkably, the Chinese soldiers and officials. What if we were to send more joy, peace, and love to those who are oppressing people? Now, outside Tibet, the diaspora community preserves traditions through colorful religious festivals, including elaborate costumes, music, and dance. And these celebrations aren't just cultural preservation. They're declarations that Tibetan culture remains vibrantly alive despite attempts to destroy it and annihilate it. So the joy expressed in these gatherings is both spiritual practice and political statement. My friends, these examples of joy as a deliberate practice are important because they show us how to resist in difficult circumstances. The more challenging the situation, the more important the cultivation of compassion and joy become, not as an escape, but as a profound resistance against forces that would diminish human dignity and spirit. Dancing, singing, and creating art of any kind, as well as humor, play, and meditation, are some approaches for expressing and practicing joy as a form of resistance. Others might find joy in acts of protest, or service, or tangible actions that make a difference, or by being out in beautiful nature, or planting and tending a garden. Do whatever brings you joy. It's revolutionary to feel joy despite hardship. Now, personally, I've been through some challenging times recently, and what's helped me through most is dancing. I've developed a ballroom dance hobby, and when I'm dancing to great music, everything else simply melts away, and a huge smile spreads across my face. I can also be found joyfully digging my bare feet into the sand on beach walks with friends, or singing musical theater in the car, or going to precious dinners with my wonderful son Gabriel, who is now 21. Yup, he was 11 the last time I saw you, and rarely visits town. But my heart fills with joy spending time with him, hearing stories of his life up in Seattle, preparing for his senior year at college, and noticing how he's grown into a fine young man. So I'm curious, what do you do to lift up your spirits when times are tough, either personally or in our country? In a moment, I'm going to invite you to turn to someone near you and share a brief practice or some time when you felt joy during a difficult period. Now, this could be just a small moment, hearing a bird sing during a time of grief, or laughing with a friend during a time of illness, or finding beauty in nature during political turmoil. What momentary joy became a form of resistance for you? You're going to have just a couple of moments to share, so please keep your stories brief so everyone gets a chance to share. So I invite you now to turn to someone near you, inviting each other to share a story of joy. And if it's someone you don't know, so much the better. Just give a brief moment and then I'll bring us back. Finish up your conversations and come back, please. Thank you. Can you hear the buzz of joy in the room? Can you feel your energy, maybe your mood shift a little bit? I hope you heard some uplifting stories from each other. My friends, these moments of joy aren't separate from our justice work. On the contrary, they fuel it. Joy recharges our batteries to have energy for the long haul. And when we taste joy, even in difficult times, we're experiencing firsthand the world that we are fighting for. Joy reminds us of what we're protecting and what we're creating together, and it strengthens us for the road ahead. So I invite you, my friends, to invite joy in as many places as you can. Do what's meaningful for you to resist. May we together build a foundation of joy that carries us through these years. And let's share fun, laughter, and joy along the way together. Are you with me? Yes. May it be so. Yes.
Please rise in body and spirit as we sing our closing hymn, Now Let Us Sing 368. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Now let us sing, to the power of the sing, sing. Now let us sing, to the power of the sing, sing. Lift up your voice. Up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the love within. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the joy within.
Beloveds, go forth with joy as your companion and your shield. Oh, everyone hold hands if you like. Sing when the world tells you to be silent. Dance when despair tries to keep you still. Laugh in the face of cynicism and create beauty where there is none. Share love as if it were the most radical act of all, because it is. Let your joy be the spark that lights another's courage, and let your joy, even in the hardest of times, be the resistance that keeps the world turning toward love. As we extinguish our chalice, may the light of love shine upon you, out from within you, be gracious unto you, and bring you peace. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Now let us call out a blessing. Call out a blessing, 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 Now let us sing, if you wish, for our postlude, This Little Light of Mine.